Welcome to the Guatemalan Foundation video number 12, part 2 of the December inspection trip report. We are flying towards Guatemala, winging our way over Mexico, landing briefly in Mexico City, and then continuing on south, seeing off to the east, Mexico's two tallest peaks. Then we come over Guatemala, flying over beautiful Lake Atitlan, which some people call the most beautiful lake in the world, and land in Guatemala City. There we get on a bus and head north towards Coban, first dropping way down into desert hot country and then climbing very rapidly up into the fog-shrouded mountaintops of rainforest. And soon we approach Alta Verapaz, which is the land of eternal peace. And then we see on the hillsides the Indians' cornfields climbing up very steep slopes. Very hard-working people. Then we visit with Federico Beles some of the schools that we've built, like the one we just saw at La Laguneta. And then we're heading out into another area. Santa Cruz Verapaz has 31 rural schools, all of which we help. And here we are approaching the one in the Panaja village that we helped construct a number of years ago. From Panaja, we head then towards the home of a widow lady, Luisa. We started helping her and her husband, Arcadio, a number of years ago. He had been paralyzed in an accident, and so and they lived in this ramshackle home, and we helped him become a shoemaker. But then he died, and we helped bury him, and poor Luisa was left alone, and so we decided to fix up her house so that her and her children could live in decent conditions. And so she has a nice clean home with a cement floor, and we helped her have a little store for a while, but there was too much competition, and so she now supports herself, her and her two daughters, working sorting and selecting cardamom into 6 different categories, and they get paid enough to do this work to support themselves. In addition to the home, we help them with water, and so they have water in their home for the first time, a very important element for health. Now we're heading towards Valparaiso, where for many years it was the headquarters of the foundation activities in Guatemala, in what became known as the Center for Indian Development. And it was there that we eventually established the Valparaiso community, where each Indian family had their own owned their own property. And so here we are arriving at the community, pulling off of the main highway. The road is gradually being lined with stores and businesses and homes, but we will first visit the school, which now has over 400 students, and you'll see how it started. Of course, we started in very, very rough, crude conditions. This is the way the homes were. The first school class was taught by my daughter Julie, who now is a foundation trustee and who receipts the donations and writes the thank you letters to all of you fine people. But the school grew to 110 students. All 6 grades participated in a parade, departmental parade one year, and took first place from the country's president. The guerrilla war then in 1981 made it necessary to close the center, but we built a school and donated it to the government to operate, and it was inaugurated under the protection of the Guatemalan Army, using Israeli Galil automatic weapons to prevent any guerrilla attack during the inauguration. Later we helped build another building onto it with more classrooms, and later even more down below, and so there's over 400 students. And then in 2010 we helped turn it into a junior high school in the afternoon, which is an incredible feat for rural Guatemala. This is the caretaker's home, and there I finally met Cordell Anderson Sepp Chical. This poor little kid has got to have that name for the rest of his life, unless he legally decides to change it, I guess. But there his mother is. Along the road, we met Matilde, who was very proud of the fact that her son is on an LDS mission right now in Quito, Ecuador. Here's two of her daughters. Um, and then we, along the road, met another old friend, Marta, who, along with her mother, Chavela, and sister, Elvira, lived with us at the Central House for many years. Elvira was the miracle child who was restored to life after dying that really got the work started at Valparaiso. Marta here is also the mother of the present LDS branch president, Julio Bernabe, and his wife you see there. So now we're heading up into the community. We see it here looking from the west. Where the center of the plantation is. The objective was to change these kind of homes into healthy homes, as you see here, where each of them, of course, would have their own property. 3 homes like this were built for widow ladies, and then we worked on helping them get potable water. And at the same spot now is the home of Federico Paul, who became my first adult employee, becoming the manager of all of the work projects out in the fields. There's some of his granddaughters, and here Federico is. As we moved towards teaching the Indians how to work more productively, he became the first to learn how to work a chainsaw. This was our first effort at mechanization. And then he kept working for us for around 30 years. Here's one of his grandchildren. Federico is a very kind-hearted fellow, and on his property he permitted the construction of a Nazarene chapel, one of his sons being the pastor. Up the hill was the LDS chapel, and then after water we decided on helping them with electricity, and in the project there were just about a few tragedies. This car bit the dust, but we eventually got electricity for the community, and they now even have cable TV. There are computers in a number of homes, TV in all the homes. There's a repair shop that has welding, and there's even an internet cafe where kids can also go in there and pay to play video games. There's a barber shop, there's a little bookstore, and there's many little stores like this to sell basic foodstuffs. This is the son of Mariano, one of the longtime workers for me on the plantation. And then we visited other stores. This one happens to be a specialty store, specializing in sewing, with sewing materials. So that's quite a thing. And then next to it was a variety store again, a grocery store, I guess we call it, and it's Tina. Tina was born in the Central House to Cecilia, who worked for us for many years. Tina later was a missionary in El Salvador. Here we are going down from this store to visit the home of Pablo Shona, who was one of my first students and one of the first full-time employees also. We're following his daughter down to their quite extensive home. Pablo didn't happen to be home at the time. But we will first see his son, Juan Pablo, who happened to be one of the real troublemakers on the plantation in his youth, but he's one great guy now who has worked hard to, and that's Cecilia, but Juan Pablo has worked hard to see that his brothers and sisters get an education. And there's Tina, Cecilia, and the daughter, and Cecilia worked for years preparing our tortillas for this large and growing family that we had at the Central House for many years. And there Tina was born to Cecilia. Then there's the story of Alfonso Leak that were taken in to keep them alive during an epidemic. We helped Leak eventually become the first professional as a certified public accountant. Josefina, another student, became a registered nurse. She's the one on the far left. They eventually got married, and this is their home today. They didn't happen to be home when I visited. Then there's the story of Moncho, who lived in the Central House for a number of years. This is his family today, and here we are going up a narrow trail, narrow pathway to visit their home. Moncho also we helped study, and he became also a certified public accountant. and he happened to be working this day, and so you'll see glimpses of some of his children and his wife here, but Moncho didn't happen to be home at the time. And so these are glimpses of them, and then here's Gloria, who is also one of our students, and who is the mother to a whole bunch of really great kids. They were in their work clothes that day, and they were a little embarrassed, but they're hardworking people. So there Moncho is with his family. On the path, we also met Doña Cristina, who is Aura, my adopted daughter's grandmother. You see Aura's story right here. Here Aura is. She's now studying towards her master's degree in social work. Then we went to visit Felisa, another of the old timers at the house. You see here on the right in the first picture of the Central House family, and then Chavela, mother of Elvira, the miracle girl. And here you see the community hall where they have meetings to get together to get organized for community improvement projects. There's of course other meeting places, the Nazarene Chapel, and then up the hill there's the LDS Chapel, and there's also of course the Catholic Church, including the Mayan religion. This Mayan priest wanted my picture of Christ visiting the Americas, as he felt that it was in harmony with their belief of an ancient visit of a white bearded God. So here we are driving through the community on the way back to Coan. A lot of progress has been made. Compare this to the thatch broken down huts in the beginning, and you'll see a great vast difference. Here come the Mormon missionaries even. Then we head back to Coan to visit Chapina, another of what we could call the Foundation children. If you've checked videos and photo essays of the Foundation and the history, you'll know who Chapina is, but you'll meet her in just a minute. But when I first was in Coban as a Mormon missionary in 1958, and then later to live there in '67, I have pictures in the streets of Coban where there was not one car visible, and only an Indian woman or two walking around with maybe a basket on her head. But now, of course, there are traffic jams. Right in the center of this picture, you see the store of Maria del Carmen, who was a long-time employee of ours, and she has her own store there. Here you see the Indian women who have gathered to come in out of the hills and the mountains surrounding Coban, bringing their produce for sale on the streets of Coban. And then there's a stoplight. There's at least a half a dozen of them or so in Coban now. Quite a contrast compared to when there were no cars visible in pictures. Here we are approaching Chapina's place and seeing her variety store, I guess we could call it, where she supports herself and David, her son. This is Chapina's history in a nutshell, and Aura lives with them too, my adopted daughter. And so that was the visit just before Christmas. Now you'll remember that we had the project in our last video of providing 6,000 school children with school supplies. Well, we did it for 4,500, but we have 1,500 to go. And so we still need help to complete our promise of putting smiles on nearly 6,000 beautiful faces. 1,500 to go. We need $1,500 more to provide their school supplies. School has started, and so they need the supplies to learn, and they need them right away. So please help us with whatever is possible. Like I say, the need this week is $1,500. It's only about $1 per child. Please help us put smiles on nearly 1,500 more beautiful faces right now. It will put a smile on your face too, I promise. Don't forget, best do it now and put a smile on your face too. So you can donate at the website www.guatemalanfoundation.org, clicking on how to help, or you can send your donation to Guatemalan Foundation, Post Office Box 50, Springville, Utah 84663. So thanks a lot.